In the past, countries strived for emancipation, as slavery was considered to be a serious violation of human rights. However, exploitation can still be found in many forms, such as enslavement. These people are victims of trafficking. They've been deceived, detained, forced into prostitution, exploited for their labor, and in other ways. Globalization has brought about changes in the economy, society, and technology. This has driven people to try to earn more income by seeking better opportunities in life. Many were unfortunate and ended up becoming victims of trafficking. These victims did not know they were victims, nor did they know that their rights were being violated. Criminals took advantage of this to seek money for themselves. In Thailand, it was found that a number of Thai people became victims of trafficking abroad. Likewise, a number of migrants from neighboring countries also became victims of trafficking in Thailand. Therefore, Thailand is continuously and fully committed to preventing and suppressing human trafficking by using a comprehensive approach called the 5 Ps, with the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security as the main focal point. P1. Policy. The Royal Thai government proclaimed human trafficking to be on the national agenda in 2004, and on September the 27th, 2012, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra emphasized the importance of fighting human trafficking by declaring in her policy statement at the 67th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, she said,
"One of the worst forms of human dignity is human trafficking. I consider this as a matter of national priorities and am fully committed to eliminating this inhuman exploitation."
The Cabinet resolution on May the 11th, 2010 approved the second National Policy and Plan 2011 through 2016 as the master plan to guide counter-trafficking agencies in the implementation of their activities and programs. In addition, on April the 9th, 2013, the government set up the OSCC Social Assistance Centre and its hotline 1300. 12 government agencies and 64 NGOs signed the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, to promote and strengthen the coordination among concerned agencies with regards to receiving notifications and complaints about trafficking, as well as rendering assistance to children, women, the elderly, persons with disabilities, and victims of trafficking. The notification receiving units are easily accessed and conveniently contacted, operating under the slogan, "Whichever unit is closest, just go there." Follow-up and monitoring systems are available and cover every region throughout the country. P2. Prevention. The Cabinet proclaimed June the 5th every year as Anti-Human Trafficking Day. Anti-trafficking campaigns and activities are organised on this day every year throughout the country, via various media channels, in order to raise awareness and create a better understanding about human trafficking. In addition, multi-language media is produced and training is organised to educate vulnerable groups so they are able to prevent themselves from becoming victims of trafficking. P3. Prosecution. Prosecution includes legal measures, law enforcement, and the justice process. The government enacted the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act 2008, or BE 2551, which came into force on June the 5th, 2008. One of the significant elements of this act is that the crime of trafficking carries heavier penalties, and that penalties are imposed on all persons involved in human trafficking. Moreover, under this act, victims shall not be penalised for illegal entry into Thailand or for their illegal status. During the justice process, victims will be permitted to stay and work temporarily in Thailand. The Act also stipulates that a fund shall be established to support the suppression and prevention of human trafficking, and the provision of welfare protection for trafficked victims. Training for officials is arranged according to the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act BE 2551 to enable them to legally and efficiently carry out their duties. To achieve high efficiency in the prosecution process, law enforcement agencies have established specialized anti-trafficking units located at the Royal Thai Police Office, the Department of Special Investigation or DSI, and at the Office of the Attorney General or OAG. Since 2008, the maximum punishment for those found guilty of human trafficking offences is over 30 years of imprisonment. Previously, the punishment for human trafficking was on average between 1 and 10 years of imprisonment. P4. Protection and assistance. Thailand places a victim-centred and human rights-based approach at the heart of our Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act 2008. The trafficked victims, regardless of their nationality, are provided with protection, shelter, medical treatment, physical and mental rehabilitation, education, training, compensation, and legal aid. The Royal Thai government has set up 77 homes nationwide for children and families as temporary shelters for victims of trafficking. These shelters provide primary assistance to trafficked victims before they are referred to one of the 9 main shelters for victims of trafficking. Among these are 4 shelters for male victims. These main shelters provide protection and assistance to both Thai and non-Thai victims of trafficking according to the law, ensure safe return of trafficked persons to their countries of origin, facilitate successful recovery and reintegration of trafficked persons with follow-up and monitoring programs to prevent them from being re-trafficked, and provide the trust fund budget to enhance their chances of finding alternative means of earning their livelihood. In addition, the Royal Thai government, by the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, has organised training for Burmese and Cambodian interpreters, so that these trained interpreters can assist the multidisciplinary teams during the victim interview process to be better able to identify victims of trafficking. Also, by collaborating with the International Organization for Migration or IOM, the Ministry has improved the multilingual facilities of the 1300 hotline by including Burmese interpreters in conversations with Burmese migrants through a teleconference system based in Ranong, Phang Nga, Tak, Chiang Rai and Samut Sakhon. P5. Partnership. Human trafficking is a complicated problem, which is linked to illegal migration. Therefore, to prevent and suppress trafficking, no single country or agency is able to tackle this problem alone. Thailand is a strong supporter of international cooperation to combat human trafficking. The Royal Thai government has signed various bilateral agreements with neighbouring countries on cooperation. These agreements are aimed at preventing human trafficking, prosecuting trafficking cases, and the protection of victims. It is expected that with these efforts in place, assistance to victims can be provided immediately, and transnational crimes can be effectively suppressed and finally eliminated. The stains of the blood and tears of trafficked victims will disappear through the dedicated and determined efforts of all concerned agencies, from both the government and private sectors, with the main mission to eliminate human trafficking.